Perfect. Hello, hello, everybody.
Hello, Joe. Hello.
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 I hope you're all doing fabulous.
We certainly are.
Good. Welcome to another wonderful Thursday, where our goal today is to get you feeling awesome for your weekend.
Great.
All right.
That'd be
Perfect.
great.
So just a reminder, if you haven't grabbed any equipment and you are planning on using equipment today, we will be using some sort of a weight and a stretchy band today. Okay. Now, as I just sit back in my seat, make sure you are sitting in a nice sturdy chair with a nice clear space around you, nothing to step on or trip over. I can already see that my camera angle is a little bit off, so let's do that. All right, throughout class, I do want you to focus on your breathing pattern. So let's just get a bit of a reminder of that and set our lungs up for success. So just hand on your belly. Actually, we've advanced. You can take both hands and we're gonna pull them apart as we breathe in, filling up our belly, and breathe out through pursed lips. And the goal is to exhale for as long as you can without any discomfort or getting into that coughing fit. So you don't want the irritation. So be within control. So breathing in and breathe out. And let's aim for 3 seconds in, 4 seconds out, or a little bit longer. So breathing in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4, breathe in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4, last one in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4. All right, shake it out. And let's get our bodies prepped for exercise today. So all I want you to do is just lift up one heel at a time. So one heel at a time is lifting up, down, and then take your hands and we're just gonna reach across our body. Aim for kind of being in line with that opposite shoulder. So reach across as a heel lifts up. Reach across as a heel lifts up. There we go. Maintain that deep breathing for as long as possible. So let's try to stick to that breathing pattern even as we start moving. All right, good. And now I want the toes lifting up. So the heel stays down on the ground, just like you're tapping your foot to some music, one foot and then the other. And we're opening the arm out wide. Now, this doesn't have to be in sync with your feet. You can get just your feet tapping on their own as your arms move independently. But we are going to move into some pattern work in just a couple of seconds here. So be forewarned. Now maintain that breathing pattern, especially breathing out through pursed lips. All right, so now what I want is we're going to lift up one knee and touch across our body to the opposite knee. So touch, down, touch, down. So reach across the body to touch that knee. Remember to go at your own pace. Remember, the higher up you lift that knee, the harder it's going to be. And let's think about just tightening through that core. So we're sitting nice and tall, that belly is tight. Excellent. So reach across, and even if you don't want to lift that knee, just reach across your body to touch the opposite knee. That is an option, especially if you're struggling a little bit more with your breathing today. Good. Keep breathing out through pursed lips. And now we're going to lift up an arm as our opposite knee lifts, and down, up and down. Now remember, if lifting up that knee is a little bit too challenging today, then you can just lift up the heel as that arm reaches up. And if it's actually your neck or shoulders that are not doing so great today, you can just reach straight out in front. And remember, the less far out you reach, the easier it is on that shoulder. So keeping it a little bit closer to you is going to have less pressure. Good job, everybody. Maintain that breathing pattern. And let's get same arm and leg lifting up. That's a weird one.
No, it's easier.
So it's interesting. It is easier to lift up same arm and leg. So from a nervous system perspective, it doesn't take as much coordination. Oh, my right side is lifting up. My left side is lifting up, all at the same time. It takes more coordination to get your opposite arm and leg moving. However, that's one of our developmental milestones, is being able to move our opposite limbs together in a coordinated fashion. That's how we walk. And rest there. Well done, everybody. All right, so now what I want us to do, remember our hinging at the hips. So we're not bending forward from the back, we push forward through the hips. We're gonna take the hands, and all we're gonna do is reach down just to where you can and then come back up. So that little bit of rocking forward and back, reaching opposite, and just go within a comfortable range for you where you're still able to keep that chest up, moving just from your hips, not your lower back, and maintaining your breathing pattern. So even if it's just a little movement to your knee, that's great. If you're able to reach that little bit further, also great. Remember, this is your exercise class. All right, and let's get stretching down to the side just a little bit. So remember, we had that chat in our lower back discussion. Any of you with osteoporosis, you do want to be cautious of these types of movements. So just keeping it light range of motion like I am, and being extra diligent to make sure you are tightening through your core to take some pressure off those vertebrae. But if you do not have osteoporosis and you're feeling really good, you can challenge it a little bit more by reaching to the side, still staying in control of that movement. So still keeping that core tight. And I just want to let you know that if you're doing this exercise standing up, you look like a penguin. That's my very important announcement for you today. Well, don't stop doing it. There, and rest. Excellent job, everybody. All right, link your hands together. And again, be cautious if you do have a sore shoulder or neck, just be aware of your range, but we are going to breathe in as we lift up our arms. We're aiming to get a little bit of extension through your spine and then bringing it back down, okay? So we're slowly raising up, slowly extend through the back, breathing out to bring your hands back down. Breathe in, gently arch, and back down. Good. Now, as we lift up those arms, I want you to straighten one leg if you can. Keep the knee bent if your back is sore. You don't want it tugging, but either kicking that leg straight out or just lightly lifting up that knee. Just be aware of your body. If you are aware of your body, then we can adjust movements so that they are right for you today. Good work, everybody. And rest. All right, pick your, I was gonna say pick your poison, but that doesn't make sense in this context at all. Pick your position, either seated or standing. We're gonna work a little bit on our balance and that vestibular work, so that inner ear you might have heard of. And all you're gonna do is you're going to slowly turn your head to the side and then back. Just go in a range that you can. Make sure you don't get dizzy. So seated or standing. And then to make it even more challenging on your balance, you can always stand heel to toe. The further apart your feet are, the easier it is to balance. So for you, have your balance support right there so you can grab onto it and find something that is challenging but doable. You're not wobbly. You are able to maintain that balance, but you don't actually feel like you're going to fall over. Okay, that's very, very, very important when we're trying to improve it. And then it's just slowly turning the head back to center and then turning out the other way. Maintain that breathing pattern. All right, if you are standing heel to toe, this is where I'd recommend you switch which foot is in front. Otherwise, now you are dropping your chin down towards your chest and then slowly lifting it up. Now, if any of you have an issue with moving at the neck, I don't want you flaring it up. I would just encourage you to move your eyes down and then up so you can keep your neck still, or just really gently work within the range that you can. Super important that we're never trying to force anything. You should never feel like you are straining to do a movement. That's what we mean by challenging yet doable. Good. All right, and rest. Now, as long as you aren't feeling a little bit dizzy or kind of wobbly, then what I want you to do is the last thing, and it's a good thing to practice with your eyes, both for your eye tracking and for, it actually does help with your balance, but take your thumb in front of you. And again, you can shorten it if that outstretched arm is sore. Now, I want your eyes to follow your thumb closely. So really focus on your thumbnail, okay? Keep that in clear focus. And all we're gonna do is we're going to draw a little figure 8 with our thumb. So again, our eyes are following really closely. Good, and then change directions. The bigger that circle, the more challenging it is. And by circle, I mean figure 8 pattern. All right, we're gonna draw one figure 8 each direction, but you're gonna close one eye. So close one eye as we slowly draw one figure 8. And then we're changing directions to draw the figure 8 the other way. Keep it in sharp focus as best you can. And then we are switching eyes. Draw that figure 8. Nice and slow, keep super focused on that thumb. And once we draw that figure 8, then we're reversing to draw it the other direction. Perfect. And rest. Good. Now, you can end up feeling a touch dizzy or a little out of it, or kind of, some people have described it as wonky eyes. Just take a moment and do a couple recovery breaths even with your eyes closed if you need to. Okay, make sure you don't continue feeling dizzy. And let's get into some cardio. We're going to sprint maximum high intensity. I'm just kidding. We're going to slowly ramp it up. So start with just touching one heel in front of you at a time. You guys are extra serious today. Like I say, when you're super quiet, it's either because you're focused or plotting something.
That's because Terry's not here.
So he's the troublemaker.
Right.
Are you you're trying to pin it all on him?
You bet.
Nice.
We're missing
There
him.
we go. Yes, he was held up today, but he should be back hopefully next week.
Oh, good.
All right, gang, remember if this, let's start to ramp it up. So if you're feeling really good, one of two things or both that you can do is start to step just a little bit faster, or start to step kind of up and over that invisible hurdle. Okay, because that will start to gradually increase the intensity. Now, either one arm or both arms. Remember, the more body parts moving at a time, more oxygen is needed, so it's more intense. Push out your arms. And again, either just one at a time or both. Now, maintain that breathing pattern. Remember, it's important to go at your own intensity. This is your exercise class. This is for your benefit as long as you're listening to what you need. So breathing out through pursed lips. And if you're still feeling really great, we're gonna go up overhead, which again is increasing the intensity again. Excellent job, gang. Keep breathing out through pursed lips and bring those hands back down. And now we're just tapping our feet side up to the side. One back, two back, one back, two back. So again, we've kind of gone back down in intensity, even though we have switched the movement. All right, so again, now you can either start to increase the speed a little bit. You can start to increase the range of motion, or both if you feel like that is an appropriate increase in intensity for you. And we're going to open up the arms out to the side. So again, increasing number of body parts moving is increasing the intensity. Good work, team. And you can lift the arms up just a little bit higher and really open them out to the side. So again, increasing that range of motion as long as your shoulders and neck can stay happy from it. If not, you bring your arms down lower. Maintain that breathing pattern. And Bring the intensity back down again. So now we're just marching in place, keeping the steps fairly light. You can even just get one heel lifting up at a time. So little steps. Breathing out through pursed lips. So if you guys notice, we keep amping up the intensity and then bringing it back down and then amping it up again. So again, start to lift those knees up higher or faster or both. Excellent job, gang. And let's start pumping those arms if you can. Increase the intensity again. Keep breathing out through pursed lips. And if you want to increase the intensity one last time, let's start lifting up those arms as we lift up the knees. Oh boy, oh boy. Nobody told me to do a light class today. I've just been hearing, this is great, keep working us hard. So here we go.
Love every minute.
Me too. You guys are awesome. And slow it back down. Brilliant job, gang. Now let's grab a sip of water. And remember, there's always that recovery position as well. If you need to just bend over, either hands on your thighs, forearms on your thighs, or chair or table, just make sure that back is more flat, the chest is up. And you can even get into your recovery breathing as well. Now, grab your resistance band if you have one. Perfect. All right, team. If you are seated, here's what's going to happen. We are going to slowly lift up one knee. Now, remember, every time I get you to lift up a knee slow, I want the other leg pushing down into the ground. You should feel that glute muscle, that bum cheek tighten up, okay? Now, as we do that, that slowly lifts up. We're going to pull the band apart, back down, and then switch, okay? Now, the standing option is to have one foot slightly in front of the other. And then you're just going to slowly pull apart. And then when I say that's halfway, you would then switch feet. Okay, so that is your standing option. While seated, we're here. Ready, and let's start. Pull the band apart, lift up the knee, and then bring it back down. And then you switch knees. Pull apart. And which knee? If we're doing the seated option, then we just keep alternating. So lifting up one knee, down, and then you would switch knees. And also at the halfway mark, you are able to stop and do some recovery breathing based on how you're feeling today. That is the halfway point. So if you're standing, switch which foot is forward. And some of you may need to just stop for a moment, do your recovery breathing. Remember, some of us, we're just at different levels, and that's okay, right? This is your exercise class. You have to do what is best for you and your body. Remind yourself of how much you've improved since your first couple of exercise classes with me. Because boy, has it been a huge improvement. You guys are amazing. Rest there. Good. Excellent, team. So now what we're going to do right from there, you're going to take the band, you are going to step on it. Now, if you've got a longer band and you want a little bit more resistance, what you can do is just cross the band over and hold it, okay? Now, from here, you've got two options depending on your flooring and how slidable it is. So you're either stepping one foot out and bringing it back. So I'm actually taking that step out to the side. Notice though that I'm not just moving my foot, my knee and foot open up together. Can everyone see that difference?
Yeah.
Perfect. So now if that's sore and pulls on your lower back, all I want you to do is to tighten your glutes to press open just the knees without that step. Okay. Otherwise, I do want that step out and back. I would recommend doing this seated just because standing on the band, it can get a little potentially dicey with your balance and getting caught up on the band. But the next progression, if this is feeling really good, is you can step out, and then in, slow, in, slow. Just alternate which foot steps out first and be really slow and controlled coming back to the middle of your body, okay? So that's kind of the third advanced version. So find something that is challenging yet doable for you.
Oh.
And again, your bum should be tired. Those are those glute muscles, super important for balancing and helping you walk, okay? Important hip stabilizers. And last one, rest. Brilliant. Awesome, awesome, guys. So take that band. Now remember, we've done 2 exercises with that band, yes?
Yeah. Or 3.
Right. Okay, we'll take that band now. We are gonna move it around our back. We are familiar, lots of us with this position by now. So it's around the back, coming forward, kind of underneath those armpits. If the band is too long, feel free to just wrap it around your hand. That also helps so that you don't have to grip it tight if you've got any kind of arthritis in your hands or just soreness. Now, from here, here's what you're going to do. We are going to push our hands out. And now we're going to hold and we're going to lift up our knees. 1, 2, 3, and then bring those hands back towards our chest. So it's push your hands out, push, march. 1, 2, 3, back. With control, don't let it snap. Push, 1, 2, 3, back. 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 Last one, push, 1, 2, 3, back. Breathe. Breathe, everybody. And a great chance to grab a sip of water because we're going to repeat those 3 exercises. I'm liking these memory tests we've been having the last 2 weeks. What was our first exercise with the band today?
I forget. It was a 1 before 2.
You're not wrong. Take the band in your hands. Remember, if you do need to rest a little bit longer, that is 100% okay. You listen to your body. But the first exercise was with the band. And we're lifting a knee as we pull the band apart and back. Lift a knee, pull the band apart and back. And as we lift a knee, the other leg pushes down into the ground and then back and switch. And just as a reminder, as you do that, you can be standing 1 foot in front of the other as you pull. There we go, team. Now maintain that breathing pattern. And we are halfway. So if you're standing, switch feet. And it's around this time where if you're a little bit short of breath today or lower on energy, you might need to stop and just do your recovery breathing, please. Good. And last one. Rest. Well done, team. What was number 2?
Yeah, 2.
Side
Yes,
step.
that's right. Under your feet, that side step. So again, long bands, you can cross over. Now remember, if you got a sore lower back today or really short of breath, all I want you to do is tightening your glutes to pull the knees out slightly and then back in. Don't let them pull all the way. Okay, number 2 progression is stepping that foot out. Remember, the knee follows along with it. So 1 foot's pressing out at a time. And number 3 is out, out, in with control, making sure to alternate which foot steps out first. All right, and I hope everybody has started. We are starting now.
I'm finished.
I've already got 10 in.
No chance.
Well, 5.
Absolutely.
I believe you. Lots of you like to start when I'm still talking. And I think
Yeah.
that is the biggest thing that throws off my counting. You think I'm a bad counter, but I think you just start way too early.
No.
Maybe a little bit of both. Great job, gang. Maintain your breathing pattern. Remember, if you just get a couple in and then you need to rest, that's okay. There we go, and rest. Brilliant. Now that third exercise is taking that band. Yes, I see some of you have got it.
Round our
We move, yeah, we put it around our back.
back.
That's right, comes forward, kind of underneath our armpits. And what I want from you right now is to push those arms out. We hold them there as we go 1, 2, 3, and slowly bring it back. This can be done seated or standing. Push, 1, 2, 3, back. 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 Push, 1, 2, 3, back, 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 push, 1, 2, 3, and rest. So once again, grab a sip of water. If you need to just pause and do some recovery breaths, then that is great. Listen to your body. And once you feel like you are ready, I do want to challenge ourselves and do our 3 minutes of continuous cardio. So again, something that is a little bit challenging, but quite doable, kind of only around that 5 out of 10 intensity, where you should still be able to talk as you go. And I'll keep telling us the 30-second mark so that you can either kind of work 30 seconds, rest 30 seconds, repeat, maybe work a minute, rest a minute, work another minute, or try to work for all 3. You are welcome to even just keep track of your rests, whatever you do to kind of track this, go for it. And you're either marching or stepping forward. 3 minutes, let's go. So find something that you can hopefully do for the full 3 minutes with as few rests as possible. If you need to just work the arms for a little while and then just work the legs, that's another way you can do it in an interval format. Good, maintain that breathing pattern. Breathing out through pursed lips. We are past the first 30-second mark. Keep breathing out through pursed lips. Well done, everybody. Just find something that is doable for you. And that's the first minute. Good. I like seeing the different variations. Means you are looking after yourself, making sure that you're doing what you need to have a good class, get some exercises in without being wiped out at the end. And that's a minute and a half. So that's the next 30-second mark. Again, maintain that breathing pattern. Excellent job, gang. You're past the full kind of overall halfway mark.
Oh,
And
no.
oh yeah, well, that's 2 minutes there. You got just 1 minute left. Again, the goal here is to feel like you had to work, but not to feel exhausted. Okay, you should feel like you could have kept going. All right, that is the 2.5 minute mark. So you have 30 seconds left. Do what you can. Really fight to maintain that strong breathing pattern. So breathing in steadily, filling up that belly a little bit, and breathing out through pursed lips. Super, super important there. Three, 2, and rest. Excellent job, team. Very well done. All right, so make sure you rest if you need to do your recovery breathing, recovery position. It's a great time to do it. Grab a sip of water. But if you're feeling great and ready to keep going, we are going to use a weight next. So if you are using something for a little bit of weight, that's what you need now. Okay. Taking the weight. So if you've got a sore shoulder, you can just curl it up. Otherwise, we are going curling and lifting the knee, pause, and then you're going to press the foot out slightly. Don't straighten it, that can tug on your back. So just that little ways out as you press the weight up, if you can. And again, even if it's only part way, whatever you can do, and then bring it down to pull the foot back in and lower the weight and knee down together. A little bit of a pattern. So knee up, weight up. Press out as you press the weight up. And then bring it back down and in, and then all the way down. Up, press, in, down.
Same leg every time, same leg.
Yep, same leg. I haven't been switching, so I am just doing that same leg. Down and down. Okay, so we've got 5 more. Up, out, in, down. Good. Time it with your breathing. Up, out, in, down. Up, out, in, down. Up, out, in, down. Up, out, in, down, and last one. Up, out, in, down. Switch sides. Well done, everybody. And once again, up, out, in, down, up, out, in, down, up, out, in, down. Again, maintain that breathing pattern. So it might be helpful to actually breathe in on the first up, breathe out as you push up overhead. That's the most exertion. And then breathe in, breathe out. So breathe in, breathe out as you lift the weight up. Breathe in as you bring it back to shoulder. Breathe out as you lower down and reset. Breathe in, out, in, out, whatever the pace of your breathing pattern. So lift that weight up as the leg goes out, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down. I think this is the last one. Up, up, down, down. Well done, everybody. Remember to breathe out through pursed lips, recover that breathing. Now, if you're feeling still quite good, feel free to recover longer if you need to, but hold the weight to one side. And the challenge here is, can you stand up nice and tall, like you're balancing a water glass on your head, even with a weight on one side, and then down nice and slow without plopping. Now, on Tuesday, a couple of you had a really great question. You go, my knees are really sore, and that's what's causing me to plop down. Well, then all I want you to do is to push your hips back as you slowly start to lower, and you'll find that feels better on your knees. So overall, it is important when your knees feel good to get a couple of more upright squats in so that you actually build the strength in your thigh muscles. But to take pressure off the knees and really work that core, you can just push those hips back and take pressure off. But again, still make sure you're working your core even with the altered movement. And go slow. This was more than 5, so please switch hands. Good. Make sure you hold things stiff. Balance that water glass on your head. It is helpful to breathe out as you stand up. And even though I didn't show it right away, and I apologize for that, hopefully you remember that if you are not standing up today, you are still just engaging those muscles. So kind of leaning forward, pushing those feet into the ground, and then backing off, relaxing. And rest. Well done, team. Very, very well done.
You're too kind.
No, just kind enough. I'm honest and realistic.
I can't count.
You're very
Thank
encouraging.
you, kind.
Here we go. All right, this next one, if you are going to do standing, just have your hands on the back of your chair or a nearby wall or counter. But all we're doing, and if you are sitting, then I want you to place your knee on your weight on the tops of your knees, just on your thighs. If you're standing, there's already more weight, so don't worry about holding a weight, okay? But we're just gonna go up under the toes, making sure your ankles don't press out or collapse in. Just really push through that big toe, tighten those glutes, and down, and then up. Down, and then up. And so again, if you're standing, and you can make it more challenging by holding a weight and then holding on to balance support with the other hand, which I don't have, that's okay. And you just go up onto the toes and then down. So I make sure you're not kind of rocking. Make sure you're just trying to go straight up and then straight down, straight up and straight down, okay? If you are standing, same thing if you're seated, we're just lifting those heels straight up off the ground and bring them straight down. Up and down. Maintain that deep breathing. Three, 2 more, and 1 more. Good. And now, if you are going to stand, I would stand with your back against the wall, because now our feet are just slightly ahead of us. And I want you to press your feet down to the ground and then pull them up. And I actually just realized I don't think you can see my feet with this camera angle. So let's fix that. All right. So again, now the feet are slightly extended in front of you, and you're going to press your feet down, toes touch, and then pull them straight up, hold, and then down, and then up, and then down. Good. Make sure you pause once you pull them up. Feel that tightness in those shins or the front of your lower leg. Remember, that's a fun muscle called your tibialis anterior.
It should be protected more.
Oh, yeah, your shin's a little bit more to the inside, but I agree with you. There we go. Fun fact is, if you played a lot of Soccer's a common one, but like kind of rougher sports or a lot of contact in the legs, you actually tend to have a higher chance of a little bit more bumps on your shin bone.
Oh, yeah.
And they also tend to not be as sensitive. And you can test this by putting, it's going to sound really funny, but by putting a hair dryer
Oh,
on your shin. It's really weird.
if
My
you,
soccer players, I don't know how they discovered it, but they go, yeah, coach, if you blow dry your leg and you've been hit a lot, then you don't actually, you know that the air is there and you can feel the pressure or you might feel the heat, but you can't really feel it.
oh, it gets desensitized.
And that's as much as I can explain it to you. And
Yeah,
of
if you
course,
played much
in my
floor hockey or road hockey, then you're gonna have some pretty battered up shins.
That's right. So if you're interested in this, I encourage you to go test it out on yourself and report back to me.
Yeah.
Just remember, if you have any sort of neuropathy, to make sure the hair dryer isn't hot, because then you won't be able to feel it as much anyway. But yeah, even just the air, it's a bizarre feeling. Relax there. Everyone feel that muscle?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So remember, that's good for walking. It helps take some strain off the knees, and it helps prevent you from stumbling, catching your toes, because now you're practicing lifting those feet up. Okay.
Stair power.
That's right. Now, I have no idea what happened to our class today because it's already stretch time.
Well, time flies when you're having fun, right?
Then that was so much fun.
It was.
So much fun. So take that arm, we're gonna lift it up, press your elbow back. Actually, if you guys can just follow along visually, and I'll try to say switch when we switch exercises, I've got something that I'd like to share with you, if that's all right.
Great, go for it.
All right. So just pay close attention to the video then of when we switch exercises, because I always talk to you about your recovery breathing, right? That deeper breath in, slow breath out through pursed lips. I feel like you have a better understanding of why it's important from a pulmonary or lung perspective and from a central nervous system perspective. Would you all agree with that?
Yes.
We've talked about breathlessness and trapped air. We've talked about settling down the nervous system and recovering. But I actually just fine-tuned my understanding from a heart perspective. Something happens at the heart as well. And this plays into why that recovery breath is so important for your central nervous system. And that is because when you breathe in, your diaphragm drops down, yes? And your rib cage expands because you are breathing in, you are intaking air. Well, that extra room in your rib cage actually causes your heart to expand slightly. And that slight expansion at your heart, to put it simply, this isn't the, remember when we talked about there's medical terms and then there's terms that just help you understand what's going on.
Yeah.
So it kind of drops the blood pressure in the heart.
Cool.
Because now there's more space. So now the blood is moving a little bit more slowly through the heart. So when that happens, your SA node, which I'm pretty sure is your sinoarterial. I know my stuff, but I don't always know the specific terms. I'm terrible at pronouncing things. That kind of senses it. And that SA node, you might know it as the pacemaker of the heart.
Yeah.
Right? It sends the electrical impulses. Well, that actually signals to your brain that, hey, the blood's moving slower in our heart, which isn't a good thing. So the brain goes, oh, beat faster. So as you breathe in, the heart enlarges, the movement of blood slows down, so your heart works a little bit harder.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you breathe out, that diaphragm contracts, the space within the rib cage decreases, your heart, rather than expanding, it contracts slightly, which speeds up the movement of blood in your heart. So then your brain sends the signal to slow the heartbeat down. So super interesting. As you breathe in, your heartbeat increases, heartbeat slightly, the rate of beating, and as you breathe out, it slows it back down. Now, when you focus on that slow, deep recovery breathing, you are getting that prolonged time of that signal of, okay, beat faster, and that long, prolonged time of beat slower. So when we talk about a central nervous system perspective, this leg goes back. That's what we mean by it can help the recovery process. You are giving a longer time for that nervous system impulse to be sent. So it kind of acts as a bit of a reset. And what that means is when you really focus on a prolonged exhale, there is more time being spent now with the heart rate slowing down. That is how, from a heart perspective also, why it helps you recover. Does that make sense? When you spend more time with a prolonged exhale, and then the reverse is true. When you have that kind of prolonged inhale, this is something that's it's not often recommended for any sort of lung condition, but they'll teach it to other people where you can do kind of a double inhale, so that, or if I make I'll make a loud sound, but it's the not with that sound, but for pulmonary people, that's not as good, because that can, it's called breath stacking, and that can sometimes cause air getting trapped into your alveoli. So that's not recommended for you. But just from a note of interest, I don't think I switched legs. That can cause, it's a prolonged time of your heart beating faster, so it can give people who are feeling a little sluggish a little bit more energy, gets their heart going. So again, not recommended for pulmonary condition. Stick to the prolonged exhale. But very, very interesting. So now you've got the lung perspective, the central nervous system perspective, and the heart perspective of kind of what's happening with that breathing pattern.
Very interesting.
Which I know not everybody finds as fascinating as I do, but I knew for certain some of you would. So thank you for indulging me.
No, it's great stuff.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Great.
thank you for letting us know.
Yes.
What
Of
about,
course.
what about stacking the exhale? I notice when I'm on stairs, I tend to take the big breath in and then on the way out. So 3 quick breaths or exhales. Deep, but I find it easier to empty the lung, it seems.
Yep, fair enough. Sometimes you might not have quite the amount of so again, strength from a informal word rather than the medical definition. But those respiratory muscles might not have those oomph to be able to just push the air out all at once. My understanding, and I might be wrong on this, and I'm happy to double check with people with more expertise than I have, but my understanding is that there is not as much risk for air trapping on an exhale. So even if you stagger your exhale, there's not as much risk of trapped air, because no matter what, you are still emptying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, but I will absolutely double check on that and get back to you on that.
Yeah, what do you mean by stagger?
Well, he was mentioning that going upstairs, he'll sometimes exhale instead of one long steady. I'll make a sound so you can actually, if you can't hear my exhale, I'll just make sound instead of a huh, it'll be more of a huh, 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 huh.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I will double check on my understanding of that and then relay that to you guys. Okay.
Okay.
because I never want to give you the wrong information. And I'm not afraid to tell you when I am not certain on my information, because I
Mhm.
don't want you getting the wrong information.
Great.
There we have it. So together, let's just do 2 slow recovery breaths together. Again, aim for 3 to 5 seconds on your inhale and 4 to 6 seconds on your exhale, whatever works best for you, okay, without causing any sort of a spasm. Hand on your belly or out to the side or up overhead, but we are going to breathe in 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and shake it out. Awesome. Everybody, thank you so much for coming
Thank
on
you,
to
Jill.
class today.
Thank you.